Like a 2-week checkup here. Got the smoker going. Hopefully that'll help make this not as intrusive as it otherwise is. So I'm just gonna pop one of these and see how the feed's doing. We've had a really cold week, so the bees haven't been able to fly because of cold weather and rain for a couple of days. It's finally warming back up into the 60s. Just put a little smoke in there. Should help us try and keep them calm. Pop a couple of boards out here so I have room to move. And move the divider back. Oh, so we got a big old mess going on in the bottom of this hive tool. You want to get a picture in there? So this is all the comb I broke off, and I just set in the back and the bottom here for them to clean up. So I'm going to just start by cutting that loose. Now this has all been cleaned out. They clean it out. Throw it in there. This is actually quite a bit of it here. Settle down, ladies. Actually got
pollen.
Yeah, it's got a lot of. I'm gonna leave that back there just because it's got a lot of pollen in it. But I do want it cleaned up off the bottom of the hive.
Is anything coming out anymore?
Not really. We'll have to get the lighter.
I can go get that.
Okay. You wanna pause the video? Smoke them up a little bit again. Let me just get them around the entrance again. Alright, you want to just keep puffing on that every little bit. Doesn't need to be real often, but alright, we're coming up to some comb here. So let's so they're making stuff here now. Before I interrupt any more of that, though, I'm going to try and break this loose, because I don't know if you can see this inside there again. There's another big comb on the bottom here that got attached. So a lot of this attached to the bottom is all the stuff that broke off in some of our earlier videos. Again, this has just an incredible amount of pollen in it, so I feel like maybe I'll leave it in here in the back, and they can at least start to try and get some of the pollen they brought back out of it.
Okay,
So
be careful with this one. There's a lot
yeah,
on here.
so there's a lot on here, but there's also the. So they're starting to correct that cross combing issue we've been having. I had to balance or level the hive again. The hive ended up settling with some rain, and it.
That looks pretty even.
Yeah, that's it's got a little cross to it, but I think they can correct that if we do this right.
There's a little bit of capped something. Probably capped
Where do we see capped?
at the top. There's not open cell. Or it's just empty rack. Like right in the top.
That
See
might. So the top of the cells like that.
Like
so,
capped syrup or
so the
something?
top, usually the top portion, they'll put honey in, and then the baby brood will be in the bottom, the eggs and the larva and
So the
stuff.
top is probably like sugar water or
Yeah.
after maybe?
Yes, at this point, the top is most likely going to be sugar water that they're storing to, and it'd normally be honey, but because we're feeding them, it's sugar water. But we're getting there. Hive's looking a lot better than it has in the previous couple of checks.
Oh.
You can see we're trying to use smoke today too, which is definitely keeping everything a lot calmer than, well, I guess when you break comb it gets chaotic. Whether, and there I got it. So we got a little bit of cross comb that became a problem there, but I was able to cut through it.
Yeah, something's capped at the top.
Yeah, so that's actually going to be honey that's capped at the top normally. So in this case, it's sugar water honey. But they are continuing
See anything at the bottom?
to
like
build.
Eggs?
It looks to me like there's eggs at the bottom.
Oh, what is it? That's a big one. That one right there. Drone.
That is a drone. Yep.
That one's really fat.
Yep. Nope, that's a drone. I'd be surprised if we see the queen, but we'll keep looking. You know, we should see the queen here.
Out again.
No, smoker is really hard to keep lit when you don't know what you're doing, and we're just starting. So, alright, so here's one of the combs I had to previously salvage. You can see the hair clips in there and such. Again, they're going to town on this. The comb is still slightly crooked, but it's getting better. It's getting way better. So I'm still not seeing capped brood though, which is starting to get a little more concerning. By 2 weeks in, I would have expected to see some capped brood. Or at least some larvae. I don't see... Although it's dark out here in the woods, so it's a little harder to see. Well, we'll put them back in here, and so this comb is really being a lot better than what we had been seeing. So if you want to get a picture of this, Reese, so you can see here they've kind of side attached it to the side of the hive. That is something they quite frequently do. That's normal for a top bar, from what I understand. Perfect. There we go. There's, see all that capped brood?
Oh yeah.
That's capped brood down there. I'm almost positive that. Yep. That's capped babies.
It's got a darker tint to it.
So
like
those are.
on the top.
So those.
Now they're getting mad.
Yeah.
We should relight that quick.
So the smoke interferes with their communication because they communicate by scent. So
this throws off the scent in the air of danger.
yeah, so the ones that are saying, hey, there's danger, The other ones can't really smell it because they smell smoke. There's a lot of theories. A lot of people say that it causes them to like try and fill their bellies because they think there's a fire and they need to evacuate. I guess I don't know all the truth to any of that. I hear some people say that is the truth. I hear other people say that it's not and that it's all made up. But okay, so these combs are still
cross-combed,
pretty messed up at this point. But this one's got baby brood, so I don't want to really screw with it. I want it to stay in here. So we'll just try and see. You can see the honey at the top here. When I tried to correct the comb, I broke it open. But I believe, and I'll double check, but I believe these are baby bees down there. So
try and not mess with this and let them hatch.
Yeah, let me see. That guy's cleaning out a cell. That they're feeding. So these ones that have their heads in there are feeding the larva. You can kind of see the larva inside of these holes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you can see that on the camera real well, but they're little worm-looking or grub-looking things. So when the eggs hatch, they turn into the larva for a few days, and then at day 9, they will get capped, and that's when they transform into the thing we know as bees. So one of the problems I got here is I've got too much open. Let me close this up a little bit. So the nice thing about these top bar hives is they're really supposed to be quite non-intrusive because you're only removing a bar or two at a time. With the cross comb, I've taken a bunch out, just trying to have room to work, but that also means that I'm being far more intrusive than I should be. And
this is all wacky.
Yeah, so this one is
wishy-washy.
Yeah, well, this is one that had broken a couple of times too, I think.
Pollen in the top.
But we'll
I don't see any brood in this one.
So there's a ton of grubs in here though. Look at that. Do you see that?
No.
Yeah, there's a ton. So they'll probably be capping this one in another day or two. That one does definitely have a lot of eggs, or I guess larvae, I should say. And now, so this is interesting. I didn't get it on video, but the other day I peeked in the hive to feed them, and one of the comb broke, so I taped it on. And notice the bees chewed the tape, because this tape actually went all the way around us like a sling. But from what I'm seeing, yes, ladies, I know.
Oh, we got like what, 2 more? 1 more?
Nope, that's the last one right there. Actually, we were just up on the divider board, so.
Should I stop it and then move them all?
No, you keep recording. It's fine. So I'm just gonna leave the tape in there. They'll actually clean that up. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna insert a full bar in here, an empty one, right up on that. Come on, ladies. Right up on that divider board, so that hopefully that encourages them to build a straight comb instead of all wonky. But this has been a really, really good inspection. Oh, you just killed yourself trying to sting my glove. This is as much trouble as I've had with this hive in the last 2 weeks. Can you see this bee right here, Reese?
Yeah.
So it's got in its pollen basket on its hind leg, you can see the pollen, the yellowish orange speck. So now this is where I scrape the honey off of my hive tool. They're eating that to bring back in and put back in a cell. But you can see, so this So that's what it looks like when they're bringing pollen in. They come back and they have their legs have these little pouches called pollen baskets that they fill up. So we actually had, that's a pretty good straight comb too. I'm going to put another bar in here, empty bar, give them something to work with. Just trying to checkerboard in where the hives are, or where the comb is good, so that they continue to build straight comb. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I might grab another piece of wonky wax out of here. I don't know if they're going to come back for this pollen or not. I don't want them to get in the habit of having all this in here. We've got pretty good pollen here in the woods, so I am going to grab this stuff out. Man, that is a lot. I'm leaving that.
They can replace that in like a day.
Well, they can, but I mean, I don't want to destroy their work, right? It's a lot of work for these bees to fly out and get all that. So we'll scooch that back up. And we are done checking this hive. It is, so it's substantially better experience today than we had in previous. If you've seen any of the other videos, I'm new at this, right? We're doing this as a family.
Yeah. And
you notice we don't have the other family members out here today because we still haven't gotten more bee veils and stuff, and getting bees stuck in your long hair and then stinging you is less than fun. So until those arrive tomorrow, we won't have any extra guests out here. But I call that a pretty successful inspection. We saw capped brood, which means they're reproducing. We saw larvae, we saw eggs. I did not see the queen, but because the nature of what we did see, we know the queen has been in there at some point. And honestly, that's what we really wanted to see. We want to make sure that this package of bees, so the average worker bee's life is about 6 weeks. And this package of bees, if they don't start reproducing soon, would run into an issue where they don't have enough workers to raise the young brood, and then they just kind of die out because they, by nature, run out of the workforce to raise the babies, and the babies can't raise themselves, and then you lose your hive. So that's the biggest thing with a brand new hive, is just making sure that you continue to have enough reproduction of the bees as they start to die off, because the 3-pound package we put in here would have had a lot less, or the bees would be dying off here as they're starting. Struggling a bit here to get my smoker going again. It went out on me. This is, from what I understand, to be one of the hardest things as a beekeeper to keep lit while you're working until you figure it out. And once you figure it out, then I guess it's supposed to be super easy. But
is that the end?
What is that?
Can I start it again once we get to the other hive? Do you want me to keep it going?
No, you can stop. Alright, got the smoker going real good this time. Hopefully it stays that way. Smoke the entrance a little bit. Hopefully this will help. So I'm going to pop the feeders, check on them. Just going to smoke a little bit in here.
I don't see a lot coming out of this hive.
Wow, they are really low on feed on that one. That one's full though, so they've got a quart of feed in there. That's good for another couple days. Like I said earlier, it's been really cold and rainy and somewhat miserable here for being the end of May. But we'll pop this open here. So the big thing is I just don't want to over smoke them, because I mean I don't obviously want to cause them to not be able to do anything, but I'm gonna slide that back, nothing here yet. So you can see these comb, they got a triangle guide on them. Just the bees tend to follow the lowest point on the bar to build their stuff. Alright, here we go. So we're getting closer to actually having some bees and some comb here. I think I got...
Yeah. Oh no. It's a little sticky.
Yep, so that's... The sticky is the propolis that they seal the hive up with. So they're still building comb, and man, this is beautiful. This is straight. You can see they're following that V shape straight across. Judging by the shape of this hive versus that one, I feel like maybe I still need to level that other hive a little bit, but we'll see where it goes. Alright. So you can see
it's like
another beautiful straight. And now you notice if you look at this down the top, it's real wide at the top. The attachment to the top of the bar, the top inch or two is where they typically put honey. And if you look in here, you can actually see all the sugar water, the nectar, the shiny stuff in those top cells. And then they typically put the babies, I guess like they call it, the eggs in the bottom portion. Now I didn't see any eggs in that cell, but again, or that comb. But again, it's kind of dark out in this woods. And, you know, is what it is. So here's a fun one. So this comb is going to be a great thing to look at because we got a bunch of capped honey on this already. I'm calling it honey. Technically it's sugar water is what it is, but this is all capped. So when we actually have honey, that's what it would look like. And then you can see
stuff down here too. So
down here are brood, because again, if you see in those holes, there's the larva. So that means this queen, which I haven't seen, but this queen, like, so here's one cleaning out a cell.
Yeah.
So there must have been something in there that it didn't like. It either one of the eggs died and whatnot. Here's another one. They are either feeding or they're depositing some more stuff into there. But that's a phenomenal sight. Again, this hive has been strong. It hasn't had the flying activity the other one did. The other package must have had more foragers. But it definitely has been strong on the comb building. And so I think we got some side attachment here too. So I'll just run my hive tool down there. So that's one of the unfortunate things, is it's hard not to pop a bee or two while you're doing this. They always end up. Oh, so look at all the capped brood on this one. You can't really see a lot of it, but down in here, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So again, a top bar I can turn like this to look at. And there are a ton of stuff. So I don't know if you can see with the camera up here, but you can really see the worms in the hole. Worms, larva, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's not focusing really up close. Okay,
so I apologize for not focus, but so this is perfect. Again, technically, if I were not a new beekeeper, I should be stopping my inspection right now because I've proven my queen is laying and she's good. Again, being a new beekeeper, I'm trying to learn and work with these a little more, so I'm going to keep going, which is probably a bad idea.
That's a lot of brood. That's like all from here.
Okay, yeah, so this is like a full comb of capped brood. That's
nice.
That means that in about 2 weeks, because they'll be capped at day 9, and by about day 21 they'll eat their way out, and then we'll have fresh worker comb. Here we got capped sugar water, honey. Got pollen over here, so this is looking awesome. For anyone that's watched our previous videos, you'd probably be shocked to see how good this is looking.
This is definitely the better hive.
Yeah, so you can hear I just puffed some smoke on them, and now they are well aware we're here. Yeah, so look at this comb from the side. I don't know if you can see that. That's really thick, right?
Yeah. That's like an inch or two. That's probably like 2 inches.
Well, it's not 2 inches because these bars are 1 3/8, but it's definitely at least that.
Yeah.
So again, here we got capped workers on the bottom, honey on the top.
That's definitely a lot of honey right there, or sugar.
So again, I'm not seeing the queen, but I honestly don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
There's some brood in the bottom too. There's a good amount of brood under all the honey.
Yeah.
Or sugar water.
So
Oh, there's a little bee with pollen on his legs.
Yeah. So I'd love to be able to actually see the queen. I don't know. Like I said though, I don't need to see the queen because I know she's in here and I know she's laying. So awesome. We're good there.
This one might have some of a side comb or whatever. It's kind of tougher.
Yeah, actually this is a real nice one too.
Ooh.
So again, lots of capped brood.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, boy, I just don't know that I could ask for better in this one than what we're seeing. I have this open though. Yeah, I'm gonna pop this. They call this burr comb. It has my son, and you know the great dad jokes. What kind of comb is cold? It's burr comb. That's really got me laughing when he sent me that by text, but it's really a lame joke. Yeah, you're laughing because you're the one that sent it. I know. So, looking great. These bees are doing phenomenal.
I'm just gonna slide them back over. Or you putting a little more?
I'm gonna layer in some empty bars to let them build. So that
this one might be a problem though. It's wide, so it might connect the other.
They'll build their own. There's a concept of a bee space, and the bees know exactly what they need, and they'll adjust the comb so that they have it. So we should be good. So you'll notice that I'm inserting bars in between.
I don't know if we can. Oh,
I'm doing this on purpose because now that we have perfectly straight comb, if I checkerboard or insert comb in between, the bees will continue to build straight comb in that they'll follow suit, right? They've got a template to work from. So that is, man, this has been awesome today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we got a whole bunch of wax here. We could actually go and melt this down.
we should.
And make like a little, I don't know, we could make a small candle or something if we had a wick to put in it, but so, with this hive I just I gotta insert a spacer in here on the other side because I don't have it perfectly sized, but that has been,
This was like a perfect inspection.
yeah, this was awesome. So now that we've inspected it, we saw that there's capped brood and everything. Right, we see they're making home straight. This one we probably won't check for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so. We'll come back in and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
But no need to keep disrupting them if they're doing that great a job. The only thing we'll come out and do is we'll put more feed in the feeder. Probably today's Sunday, so maybe Tuesday. I'll refill the feeders. I just want them to take those ones down, otherwise the feed starts to get moldy and gross, and you don't really want that in there. So we'll wait Tuesday or so. I'll come out and I'll refill feeders, and then we will.
This one didn't even like come out of their hive that much. They were just kind of working around us.
Yeah, no,
they weren't even that bothered. The other ones kind of came out a little.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I guess the other hive we still got some cross comb stuff working on, so we'll probably check that one again next weekend. But this one, I think we'll leave for a couple of weeks and let them do their thing. So, good times. All right.